Welcome to On the Prowl 2023-2024 Florida Panthers by the Numbers, Episode 5. I'm Bill from Florida Panthers Den. Welcome. Today we're going to take a look at the numbers from the 2023-2024 Florida Panthers season. We're going to take a look individually at players, both in regular season and playoffs, and then we're going to take a look at the Panthers and the teams that they faced in playoffs, both during the regular season and also during the playoffs. So without any further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into that here. Okay, now the first stat we're going to take a look at is goals, and we're going to look at the top 10 players for the Panthers. Okay, the first stat that we're going to look at here are goals, and as we take a look at things here, Sam Reinhart with 57, Carter Verhaeghe with 34, Matthew Tkachuk with 26, Alexander Barkov with 23, Sam Bennett with 20, Anton Lundell with 13, Evan Rodriguez with 12, Eetu Luostarinen with 12, Kevin Steinlen with 11, and Gustav Forsling with 10. Now let's go ahead and take a look at assists here. When we look at assists, Matthew Tkachuk led the Panthers with 62 assists, Alexander Barkov with 57, Carter Verhaeghe with 38, Sam Reinhart with 37, Gustav Forsling with 29, Evan Rodriguez with 27, Brandon Montour with 25, Oliver Ekman-Larsson with 23, Anton Lundell with 22, and Sam Bennett with 21. Now we're going to take a look at points, and leading the team with points was Sam Reinhart with 94, Matthew Tkachuk with 88, Alexander Barkov with 80, Carter Verhaeghe with 72, Sam Bennett with 41, Gustav Forsling with 39, Evan Rodriguez with 39, Anton Lundell with 35, Brandon Montour with 33, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson with 32. Now we're also going to next take a look at plus minus here. Now plus minus, Gustav Forsling was plus 56, Alexander Barkov was plus 33, Sam Reinhart was plus 29, Aaron Ekblad was plus 27, Evan Rodriguez was plus 26, Matthew Tkachuk was plus 19, Anton Lundell was plus 19, Carter Verhaeghe was plus 17, Sam Bennett was plus 17, and Dmitry Kulikov was plus 15. Now we'll also take a look at penalties. Now leading the team is Jonah Gadjevich with 104 penalty minutes, followed by Sam Bennett at 100, Matthew Tkachuk with 88, Ryan Lomberg with 80, Oliver Ekman-Larsson with 76, Nico Mikkola at 69, Nick Cousins with 64, Dmitry Kulikov with 63, Kevin Steinlen with 62, and Aaron Ekblad at 50. Now, next we're going to take a look at even strength production here. Number one was Carter Verhaeghe with 26. Number two was Sam Reinhart with 25. Number three was Matthew Tkachuk at 19. Number four was Sasha Barkov at 18. Number five was Sam Bennett at 15. Number six was Anton Lundell at 12. Number seven was Eetu Luostarinen at 10. Number 8 was Gustav Forsling at 9. Number 9 was Evan Rodriguez at 9. And number 10 was Kevin Steinlen at 9. Now let's go ahead and take a look at EVP. And that is what EVP is. It's a hockey statistic that measures the number of points scored per 60 minutes of ice time. And these are some interesting statistics here. So let's go ahead and take a look. Number 1 was Sam Reinhart at 55. Number 2 was Matthew Tkachuk at 55. Number 3 was Carter Verhaeghe at 51. Number 4 was Alexander Barkov at 49. Number 5 was Gustav Forsling at 37. Number 6 was Sam Bennett at 29. Number 7 was Evan Rodriguez at 29. Number 8 was Anton Lundell at 29. And number 9 was Eetu Luostarinen at 24. And number 10 was Oliver Ekman-Larsson at 21. Now let's go ahead and take a look at power play goals. Sam Reinhart led the Panthers with 27. And there's a huge gap here. As you can notice that right away. The next one, the closest one was Carter Verhaeghe at 8. Matthew Tkachuk at 6. Alexander Barkov at 5. Sam Bennett at 5. Evan Rodriguez at 3. Eetu Luostarinen at 2. Oliver Ekman-Larsson at 1, Vladimir Tarasenko at 1, and Aaron Ekblad at 1. Next, we're going to take a look at power play points. Leading the team was Sam Reinhart, 34. Matthew Tkachuk was 32. Alexander Barkov was 29. Carter Verhaeghe was 21. Brandon Montour was 17. Sam Bennett was 12. Oliver Ekman-Larsson was 11. Evan Rodriguez was 10. Anton Lundell was 5. And Aaron Ekblad was 4. Next, we'll take a look at shorthanded goals. And leading the team in shorthanded goals was Sam Reinhart with 5. Kevin Steinlen with 2. Matthew Tkachuk with 1. And then that was it for the year. So they only had a total of 8 shorthanded goals. Now let's take a look here. Game-winning goals. Sam Reinhart led the team with 11. Carter Verhaeghe, 7. Alexander Barkov had 4. Now let's take a look at game-winning goals. Leading the team was Sam Reinhart with 11. Carter Verhaeghe with 7. Alexander Barkov with 4. Oliver Ekman-Larsson with 3. Nick Cousins with 3. Brandon Montour with 3. Kevin Steinlen with 3. Sam Bennett with 2. Ryan Lomberg with 2. Matthew Tkachuk with 2. Now, the other stat that I would like to look at here before we go ahead and look at the playoff stat is games played here. And I think that also does tell the story. You can take a look. Sam Reinhart played 82. Nico Mikkola played 82. Eetu Luostarinen played 82. Kevin Steinlen played 81. Oliver Ekman-Larsson played 80. Evan Rodriguez played 80. Matthew Tkachuk played 80. Gustav Forsling played 79. Anton Lundell played 78. And Dmitry Kulikov played 76. Now, you notice here who's absent in the top 10, and that was Sasha Barkov. He ended up playing 73 games. Of course, he was hurt part of the year in 2023, 2024. Now, we're going to go ahead and flip the page and look at these stats from a playoff perspective here. Now, we'll first look at games played until Oliver Ekman-Larsson played 24, Dmitry Kulikov played 24, Vladimir Tarasenko played 24, Carter Verhaeghe played 24, Alexander Barkov played 24, Aaron Ekblad played 24, Sam Reinhart played 24, Brandon Montour played 24, Gustav Forsling played 24, and Evan Rodriguez played 24. Next, we're going to take a look at goals. And again, this is for the playoffs here, okay? Leading the team, and, again, this is an interesting contrast to the regular season here. Leading the team was Carter Verhaeghe with 11 goals. Sam Reinhart was number 2 with 10. Alexander Barkov was number 3 with 8. Sam Bennett had 7. Evan Rodriguez had 7. Matthew Tkachuk had 6. Vladimir Tarasenko with 5. Gustav Forsling with 4. Brandon Montour with 3. Anton Lundell with 10. Now let's take a look at assists. Leading the team with assists was Matthew Tkachuk with 16. Alexander Barkov with 14. Anton Lundell with 14. Carter Verhaeghe with 10. Gustav Forsling with 9. Brandon Montour with 8. Evan Rodriguez with 8. Sam Bennett was 7. Sam Reinhart was 6. And Eetu Luostarinen was 6. And again, a reminder, these are playoff statistics that we're looking at. Now, taking a look at points here, leading the team in points was Alexander Barkov with 22. Matthew Tkachuk had 22. Carter Verhaeghe had 21. Anton Lundell had 17. Sam Reinhart had 16. Evan Rodriguez had 15. Sam Bennett had 14. Gustav Forsling had 13. Brandon Montour had 11. Vladimir Tarasenko had 9. Again, looking at these are, again, playoff statistics for the Panthers. Now, let's take a look at the plus-minus here. Gustav Forsling was a +9. Anton Lundell was a +8. Evan Rodriguez was a +6. Vladimir Tarasenko was a +4. Aaron Ekblad was a +4. Nico Mikkola was a +4. Eetu Luostarinen was a +2. Oliver Ekman-Larsson was a +1. Brandon Montour was a 0. Matthew Tkachuk was a 0. Let's go ahead and take a look at penalty minutes. Matthew Tkachuk had 31. Oliver Ekman-Larsson had 24. Nico Mikkola had 22. Eetu Luostarinen had 22. Nick Cousins had 20. Carter Verhaeghe had 20. Dmitry Kulikov had 16. Aaron Ekblad had 16. Sam Reinhart had 12. Sam Bennett with 12. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and take a look at even strength goals. Carter Verhaeghe had 7. Alexander Barkov had 6. Sam Reinhart had 6. Sam Bennett had 6. Matthew Tkachuk had 6. Evan Rodriguez had 5. Gustav Forsling had 4. Vladimir Tarasenko had 3. Anton Lundell had 3. Oliver Ekman-Larsson had 2. And again, we are taking a look at stats from the playoffs. So we're going to take a look at even strength points. Carter Verhaeghe had 16. Matthew Tkachuk had 16. Anton Lundell had 14. Alexander Barkov had 13. Gustav Forsling had 12. Evan Rodriguez had 12. Sam Reinhart had 10. Sam Bennett had 10. Vladimir Tarasenko was 7. And Brandon Montour was 7. Now let's take a look at power play goals. Carter Verhaeghe had 4. Sam Reinhart had 4. Vladimir Tarasenko had 2. Evan Rodriguez had 2. Alexander Barkov had 1. Sam Bennett with 1. Brandon Montour with 1. Let's take a look at shorthanded goals, and there were 2. Alexander Barkov had 1, and Brandon Montour had 1. Take a look at overtime goals here. Carter Verhaeghe had 1, and Sam Reinhart had 1. And we'll take a look at game-winning goals. Alexander Barkov had 4. Carter Verhaeghe had 3. Sam Reinhart had 2. Matthew Tkachuk with 2. Vladimir Tarasenko with 1. Sam Bennett with 1. Gustav Forsling with 1. Evan Rodriguez with 1. And Steven Lorentz with 1. Okay, now we're going to flip the tables here. We're going to take a look at statistics for the team. And what I'm going to do is first, we're going to take a look how the Panthers fared up against each team they played in the playoffs during the regular season. And then we're going to take a look at how they fared against them in the playoffs. Okay, as we took a look at the skaters, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the goalies here. Now, this is for the 2023-2024 regular season for the Panthers. Sergei Bobrovsky, he played in 58 games. He started 58 games. He had a record of 36 wins, 17 losses, 4 overtimes. His shots against were 1,584. His saves were 1,449. His goals against were 135. He had a save percentage of .915. His goals against average was 2.37. His time on ice was 3,414.14. His shutouts were 6. He had no goals, 2 assists. He had a total of 2 points, and he had 4 penalty minutes. Now, backing him up was Anthony Stolarz. He was in 27 games. He started 24 games. He had a record of 16-7, 2 overtimes, 684 saves, 684 shots against, 633 saves, 51 goals. He had a save percentage of .925. His goals against average was 2.03. His time on ice was 1,506.27. He had 2 shutouts. He had 2 assists, no goals. He had total of 2 points, and he had a total of 2 penalty minutes. Now let's go ahead and take a look here at the playoffs for the goalies for the Panthers. For Sergei Bobrovsky, for the playoffs, he played in 24 games. He started 24 games. He had a record of 16 wins, 8 losses. His shots against were 583. His saves were 528. He gave up 55 goals. He had a save percentage of .906. His goals against average was 2.32. His time on the ice was 1,419.32. He had 2 shutouts, no goals, 1 assist, and 1 point. For Anthony Stolarz, he was in 1 game. He did not start any games. He had a record of 0 wins, 0 losses. His shots against were 19. His saves were 16. He had goals against were 3. His save percentage was .842. His goals against average was 5.17. His time on the ice was 34.50, and he had no shutouts. He had no goals, no assists, no points, and no penalty minutes. What I thought I'd like to do next is to use these NHL Edge statistics to see how the Panthers fared in the regular season versus all of the playoff teams, and then again, how they fared in the playoffs against all the playoff teams. So, of course, we're going to start with Tampa, and we're starting with regular season right here. And the regular season record for the Panthers, as you know, is 52, 24, and 6. For Tampa was 45, 29, and 8. Now, for skating speed, the max skating speed for the Panthers was 23.53. For the Lightning, it was 24.15. Skating distance, average per 60, was 7.73 for the Panthers and 7.49 for the Lightning. Top game was 49.68 for the Panthers and 48.79 for the Lightning. Top period was 17.32 for the Panthers and 16.77 for the Lightning. Shot speed, top speed was 100.99 for the Panthers, 102.40 for the Lightning. For average speed, 44.50 miles per hour for the Panthers and 46.68 for the Lightning. Now, looking at shot location and shots on goal and goals and shooting percentage, shots on goal for the Panthers, 2765. For the Lightning, 2,402. Goals, 265 for the Panthers, 288 for the Lightning. Shooting percentage, 9.6% for the Panthers and 12.0% for the Lightning. And you can take a look here and see it lists the various zones where each of these occurred: shots on goals, goal, and shooting percentage. Now, the last stat here is zone time. And for the Panthers, they had a 44.9% offensive zone time to 41.6% for the Lightning. They had a 17.7% neutral zone time compared to 18.2% for the Lightning. The Panthers had a 37.4 defensive zone time compared to 40.2% for the Lightning. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the Boston Bruins. And again, we are looking at regular season right here. Skating speed, the max speed, mile per hour for the Panthers was 23.53, and for the Bruins was 23.64. Skating distance, 7.73 for the Panthers and 7.61 for the Bruins. Top game was 49.68 for the Panthers, 48.73 for the Bruins. Top period was 17.32 for the Panthers and 16.45 for the Bruins. Shot speed, 100.99 top speed and mile per hour for the Panthers and 99.73 for the Bruins. Average speed in mile per hour, 44.50 for the Panthers and 46.51 for the Bruins. Shots on goal, 2,765 for the Panthers, 2,399 for the Bruins. Goals, 265 for the Panthers, 263 for the Bruins. Shooting percentage, 9.6% for the Panthers and 11% for the Bruins. Zone time, 44.9% offensive zone time for the Panthers, 41.1% for the Bruins. 17.7% neutral zone time for the Panthers versus 17.8% for the Bruins. 37.4% defensive zone time for the Panthers versus 41.4% for the Bruins. Next, we'll take a look at regular season versus the New York Rangers. Okay, we're taking a look at the Panthers regular season NHL stats versus edge stats versus the New York Rangers. Skating speed, 23.53 maximum speed miles per hour for the Panthers, 23.47 for the Rangers. Skating distance, average per 60, 7.73 for the Panthers, 7.59 for the Rangers. Top game, 49.68 for the Panthers and 48.73 for the Rangers. Top period was 17.32 for the Panthers and 16.63 for the Rangers. Shot speed, 100.99 top speed mile per hour for the Panthers, 98.45 for the Rangers. Average speed mile per hour for the Panthers, 44.50. For the Rangers, 54.62. Shots on goal, 2,765 shots on goal for the Panthers, 2,581 shots for the Rangers. 265 goals for the Panthers, 278 goals for the Rangers. Shooting percentage, 9.6% for the Panthers and 10.8% for the Rangers. Zone time, 44.9% offensive zone time for the Panthers versus 41.9% for the Rangers. 17.7 neutral zone time for the Panthers versus 17.9% neutral zone time for the Rangers. Defensive zone time, 37.4% for the Panthers versus 40.2% for the Rangers. Next, we'll take a look at regular season versus Edmonton Oilers. Okay, again, we're taking a look at NHL edge stats on the regular season, the Panthers versus the Edmonton Oilers here. The Panthers are 52, 24, and 6. The Oilers are 49, 27, and 6. Skating speed, 23.53 for the Panthers, maximum speed miles per hour, versus 24.19 for the Oilers. Skating distance, 7.73 average per 60 for the Panthers, 7.65 for the Oilers. 49.68 top game for the Panthers, 48.97 for the Oilers. 17.32 top period for the Panthers, 17.19 for the Oilers. Shot speed, 100.99 top speed mile per hour for the Panthers versus 100.48 for the Oilers. Average speed mile per hour, 44.50 for the Panthers, 45.48 for the Oilers. Shots on goal, 2,765 shots on goal for the Panthers, 2,768 shots on goal for the Oilers, 265 goals for the Panthers, 292 goals for the Oilers. 9.6% shooting percentage for the Panthers, 10.5% shooting percentage for the Oilers. Next, we're going to go ahead and take a look at NHL stats during the playoffs. First, we're going to take a look at the Panthers versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now we're taking a look at the NHL edge stats for the Florida Panthers versus all the playoff teams. We're going to take a look at how the Panthers did against the Lightning here. Now, the Panthers record in the playoffs was 16-6-2. The Lightning 1-3-1 here. Skating speed, 22.75 maximum speed for the Panthers, 23.47 for the Lightning. Skating distance, 7.73 average per 60 for the Panthers versus 7.51 for the Lightning. 58.22 top game for the Panthers, 46.12 for the Lightning. 16.33 top period for the Panthers, 16.00 for the Lightning. Top shot speed, 97.75 top speed mile per hour for the Panthers, 99.68 for the Lightning. 57.43 average speed mile per hour for the Panthers, 58.93 for the Lightning. Shots on goal. Panthers had 743 shots on goal compared to 135 for the Lightning. Panthers had 73 goals versus 14 for the Lightning. Shooting percentage, the Panthers had a 9.8% shooting percentage versus 10.4% for the Lightning. Zone time, 43.3% offensive zone time for the Panthers versus 41.4% for the Lightning. Neutral zone time, 17.8% for the Panthers versus 18% for the Lightning. Defensive zone time, 38.9% for the Panthers and 40.6% for the Lightning. Now let's take a look at the second opponent in the playoffs for the Panthers, which was the Boston Bruins. Again, we're looking at the Panthers versus the Bruins in the playoffs here. The Panthers were 16-6-2. The Bruins were 6-6-1. Skating speed, 22.75 max speed mile per hour for the Panthers, 23.08 for the Bruins. Skating distance, 7.73 average per 60 for the Panthers, 7.55 for the Bruins. Top game, 58.22 for the Panthers, 47.49 for the Bruins. Top period, 16.33 for the Panthers, 16.33 for the Bruins. Shot speed, 97.75 top speed mile per hour for the Panthers versus 92.92 for the Bruins. Average speed mile per hour, 57.43 for the Panthers, 55.82 for the Bruins. Shots on goal, 743 for the Panthers versus 323 for the Bruins. 73 goals versus 31 for the Panthers versus 31 goals for the Bruins. Shooting percentage, 9.8% for the Panthers versus 9.6% for the Bruins. Zone time, 43.3% offensive zone time for the Panthers versus 40.3% for the Bruins. 17.8% neutral zone time versus 18.1% for the Bruins. 39.9% defensive zone time for the Panthers versus 41.6% for the Bruins. Next, we'll take a look at the playoff statistics versus the New York Rangers. Okay, we're taking a look at the Panthers versus the Rangers in the playoffs. The Panthers were 16-6-2. The Rangers were 10-5-1. Skating speed, maximum speed for the Panthers, 22.75 in mile per hour, 22.82 for the Rangers. Skating distance, average per 60, 7.73 for the Panthers versus 7.56 for the Rangers. Top game, 5.22 for the Panthers, 58.22 for the Panthers, 64.48 for the Rangers. Top period, 16.33 for the Rangers and 16.20. Looking at skating distance here, 7.73 average per 60 for the Panthers versus 7.56 for the Rangers. Top game was 58.22 for the Panthers versus 64.48 for the Rangers. Top period was 16.33 for the Panthers versus 16.20 for the Rangers. Shot speed, 97.75 top speed mile per hour for the Panthers versus 94.81 for the New York Rangers. Average speed mile per hour, 57.43 for the Panthers versus 61.52 for the Rangers. Shot location, 743 shots on goal for the Panthers versus 412 shots on goal for the Rangers. Goals, 73 goals for the Panthers versus 47 goals for the Rangers. Shooting percentage, 9.8% for the Panthers versus 11.4% for the Rangers. Zone time, 43.3% offensive zone time for the Panthers versus 39% for the New York Rangers. 17.8% neutral zone time for the Panthers versus 18.1% for the New York Rangers. And 38.9% defensive zone time for the Panthers versus 42.8% for the New York Rangers. Next, we'll take a look at the NHL stats for the Stanley Cup Final versus the Edmonton Oilers. Okay, we're taking a look at NHL stats, edge stats for the Florida Panthers versus the Edmonton Oilers in the Stanley Cup Finals. The Florida Panthers record was 16-6-2. The Edmonton Oilers were 15-9-1. Okay. Skating speed. Maximum skating speed for the Panthers was 22.75. It was 23.85 for the Oilers. Skating distance, average per 60, 7.73 for the Panthers versus 7.63 for the Oilers. Top game was 58.22 for the Panthers versus 62.81 for the Oilers. Top period, 16.33 for the Panthers versus 16.52 for the Oilers. Shot speed, top speed mile per hour, 97.75 for the Panthers versus 97.92 for the Oilers. Average speed mile per hour, 57.43 for the Panthers versus 52.09 for the Oilers. Shots on goal, 743 shots on goal for the Panthers versus 711 shots on goal for the Oilers. 73 goals for the Panthers versus 86 goals for the Oilers. Shooting percentage was 9.8% for the Florida Panthers versus 12.1% for the Edmonton Oilers. Now, in all instances of these NHL edge stats, and I wanted to call something out to your attention here, is the shot location and shots on goal. The total shot, the shots on goal and the goals for the Panthers compared to their first three opponents, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Boston Bruins, and the New York Rangers, that stat can be a little misleading because the Bruins the Lightning, the Bruins, and the Rangers didn't play the same number of games as the Panthers did. But again, the shooting percentage is something that's still valid, so I thought I would leave that in there. Several items of note here. One of the things that I wanted to do here with all of this was to give you a flavor for what it was like for the Panthers in the regular season versus the playoffs, not only on an individual player basis, but also on a team basis versus the teams that they faced in the playoffs, looking at it both in regular season and in the playoffs here. And as people have said, the regular season is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And you can tell how the numbers differed looking at the regular season versus the playoffs on an individual basis for the players themselves and on a team basis as well. I hope this gave you some insight into how the numbers really do end up telling a story for the Florida Panthers. As always, remember, it's a great day for Florida Panthers hockey. Time to hunt.